If you borrowed a log from a friend and placed it across both sides of a canyon, the most primitive log bridge would be born. But this kind of bridge was extremely dangerous. With the canyon deep below, one wrong step could send you falling. So few people dared to cross. So you came up with a clever idea. Place several logs side by side and tightly bind them together with ropes. This made the crossing somewhat safer, but the uneven surfaces between the logs could easily trip pedestrians. You then laid flat wooden planks across the top, creating a wooden plank bridge. However, wood exposed to the elements for years can weather and become brittle, leaving the bridge deck at risk of collapsing at any moment. So you redesigned the entire structure. You chose the middle of winter and first laid a layer of firewood at the bottom of the canyon, then poured water over it. The firewood trapped the water, which froze into a thick ice platform. Like reinforcement bars, the embedded firewood increased the strength of the ice. By repeatedly adding layers of firewood and ice water, you gradually built the structure upward until it reached the cliff edges, creating a massive temporary ice foundation. With this supporting platform in place, you could build a curved, wedge-shaped arch. Because of gravity, the stones would tightly lock together. The weight of the bridge deck would then be transferred along the arch and converted into horizontal forces, pushing outward against both cliff walls. But soon you discovered another problem. A single continuous arch ring formed one complete structure. If one stone were damaged, uneven stress could cause the entire arch to fracture, potentially bringing down the whole bridge. So you changed the design. Instead of one continuous arch, you built 22 separate, independent arch rings side by side. Even if one arch ring were damaged or collapsed, the others could continue carrying their own loads, preventing a chain reaction and the collapse of the entire bridge. To prevent the arch stones from becoming loose and falling apart, you carved grooves along their edges and used curved iron components to lock them firmly together. However, when the bridge was under compression, each arch ring would push outward. This could cause the outer arch rings to spread and collapse. So you created iron tie rods, thick at both ends and thinner in the middle, to laterally pull all the arch rings together and prevent them from expanding outward. This turned the separate arch rings into one strong, unified structure. Once the bridge structure had become stable, you laid heavy stone slabs to form the deck, but this added tens of tons of extra weight, placing even more pressure on the arches. So you borrowed an idea from spandrel arches and opened a series of smaller arches between the main arch and the bridge deck. These openings reduced the bridge's overall weight by nearly 1/3. They also allowed wind to pass through, reducing the lateral impact of strong winds on the bridge. At this point, the main bridge structure was essentially complete. When spring arrived and temperatures rose, the ice platform beneath the bridge gradually melted away. Finally, you erected pillars and beams on the bridge deck and built a 2-story, heavily roofed pavilion, integrating the bridge and the building into one spectacular structure. Congratulations! You had created Cangyan Mountain Bridge Tower. This 35-ton pavilion hangs high above a 70-meter deep canyon, surrounded by misty mountain cliffs. It has stood for nearly 1,400 years, resembling a rainbow frozen in time. Through 1,000 years of wind, frost, and changing seasons, the stone bridge and pavilion have remained standing.